the engine, the power of the engine, essential for this kind of aeroplane. When you look at that, it's something that a jet aircraft design, military and commercial. You'll see that in July, one of the RAF pilots was doing a test touch and go at my local airport on the capital of the production.
What do you mean? Did the pilot? Instead of a pilot phone, you could have a little stuffed teddy in them instead of a pilot phone.
I was just thinking that.
Well, I don't know, it is big, Paul.
It's big enough, isn't it?
Yeah. You could almost get in that.
Big microlight engine hidden behind all of those beautifully modelled dummy engine cylinders and making an absolutely stunning sight against this beautiful sky we've got out there this morning. Ian's very unique, one of the early members of the Light Model Association, now one of the trustees, I believe. And we'll put together a lovely scale flight in this beautiful aeroplane. Of course, this type of model simply does not come out of the kit. Everything on the aeroplane, including the propeller, is scratch built. So starting with an idea, developing the idea through the design stage, deciding what scale it wants to be, how much power, what propellers needed, and just pulling up, demonstrating the power of that big 400cc twin-cylinder engine. 400cc, typical of a small motorcycle, so big lump of metal in the front there, providing the power. The model's been on the circuit now 15 years, one of the first aircraft, or the first aircraft, registered within the scheme, 20 kilogram scheme. Power on this is a twin-cylinder engine, but the two cylinders in line, and the engine's just back from Germany after many flights, having had a new crankshaft fitted and a rebuild. Of course, reliability of the engine, the power of the engine is essential for this kind of aeroplane. Building up now for a loop. Obviously these are not aerobatic, nice round figures, perfect rolls, and a lovely sequence there, using energy from the roll into the stall turn. And it is exactly as the full size would have performed those manoeuvres. And 2 years ago at Cosford, John had the pleasure of flying with the full size in a superb display with the pilot and full size in radio contact and an excellent display, and I think one of the first. So here we go, Ken Allison's Mighty Lightning, flown by Dave Johnson. Watch and enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. Wheel, straight wheel. And see Dave now being very, very gentle with the sticks. There's no aggressive movements at all. Letting the aircraft speed build. It's going to be a difficult aeroplane to fly. Basically a rocket tube with two big stabilizers. When you look at that, it's something that's very, very futuristic, and in fact the original aircraft was built in the late 1950s. Hugely powerful aeroplane, and nobody really knew its true potential. Climb rate on afterburn is something just astounding. I remember this in an air show, full size coming past, pushing its nose skyward, full afterburn on, and the ground literally shook beneath your feet with the forces that the aeroplane was generating. And the noise just made you want to listen to it again. It just made your ears bleed. It was so noisy, this thing. But this is a fine demonstration by Dave of one of the stars of the circuit. This is new to the circuit this year. It's been through all of its proving flights. This really is aviation heritage brought to you in model aviation. Sit back, relax and enjoy. And everything just starts with an idea. The idea being that we wanted to recreate one of the iconic aeroplanes of its youth. But of course, it just simply, you don't simply take this out of the box and build it. It truly evolves. There are so many problems that require all these ingenuity to overcome. The wing joining system, making sure the wing inserts were absolutely perfect. How to find servos that could control those massive tail movements. And even after getting all of the airframe completed, it came with a submarine. It had to be light, of course, a huge wing area, an aircraft like that. You don't want to add a lot of weight. It's very, very easy to add weight during finishing. So this is covered in a new material, very thin plastic, called Pro Skin. And it actually only has one coat of paint on it, just keeping it to an absolute minimum. Pro Skin new material, we didn't actually know what glue to use to attach the Pro Skin to the fuselage and the wings, and Eventually, after a lot of experimentation, it turned out that good old Evo stick was the best solution to the problem. So here we go, flat out fly to, beautiful sight, mighty English electric lightning of 10 Allison, so capably flown by Gay Johnson. This just is one of the most menacing aeroplanes you will ever see. Flying rate to 60,000 feet, which is twice the altitude you can fly out of the passenger plane. It's around about 1.5 minutes. Fuel consumption in those twin jets was absolutely astronomical. I say, even in its model form, this aeroplane is now, it's probably burned up 4 litres of fuel, almost a gallon of fuel in this flight. Wheels down, see the lovely sequence 3-track coming in. They're taking the power on, massive drag on the aeroplane now. Flies during this phase, absolutely critical.
pilots. There's so many jets these days. Get off first. Two jets at 120s producing about 28 pounds of thrust on this model. It's all traditional construction, fly formers, balsa skin covered with thin epoxy glass cloth, which we use for covering our models because it imparts strength. In the old days, you will remember that we used to cover with tissue and dope, which was very light, but it suffered from the fact that it didn't give us much structural strength, particularly for the large model. And also it was what we call very prone to being damaged with dings, little knocks on door corners and the sides of the worktop bench. The protection. So here we go. I'll hold up the commentary so you can just hear the gestures of the commentary. Complimented why in the crosswind situation, but there was considerable turbulence there as well. And so that is very, very tricky if it continues or increases throughout the day. Sadly, I think it is forecasted with us, but if you look at the wind up down to our right there, you see we've got something probably 12, 13 knots at the moment, and that's very stiff. Anyway, we come back to the BC-10. This is its second public display flight. It had its debut yesterday, and these aircraft are examples in the full size of the best of British post-war jet aircraft design, military and commercial. So here's the BC-10 with the 4 range and the dry weight, I believe around about 150 to 160 pounds. I haven't got the notes in front of me. But as I say, the Wrens produce 80 pounds on full charge, so there's bags of them. And look at that wonderful swept Victor wing. Indeed, in its own right, I think, and it's still flying for the RAF today. Dave Hurr was telling us, I think it's to be pensioned off next year. But if you go onto YouTube, you'll see that in July, one of the RAF pilots was doing its test touch and go at my local airport of Newcastle, and if you just put BC-10 touch and go Newcastle, it'll come up, and he actually doesn't make a very good job of it in my view, but there we are. But Dave Hull reckoned it was a delight to fly. You see they've got them together already. These two pilots quite symbiotic, they can feel each other's thoughts almost, what's required, the throttle settings. This might all look very easy and, oh, I can do that. Oh, well, you can't, I can tell you, unless you've had your hands on the sticks. And combining aeroplanes with two very different characteristics, and flying them in formation, getting the throttles just right. Now they'll be looking to coordinate. Now I want an applause if I've got them together here, right? There we are, they're doing a Farnborough pass to the top of the wing. Give them a little bit of encouragement, ladies and gentlemen. As I say, Steve and John will be doing exactly the same, and they'll be waiting for the timer to go up, but they'll have a much better idea of fuel consumption than the BC-10 lads will. And that only comes with experience, to sort of display profile. The VC-10, I thought I saw an undercarriage door down, yes I do. The full-size, very, very powerful aeroplane, very powerful engines, the Rolls-Royce Conway, which was eventually installed in the Victor, of course, 20,000 pounds cold thrust, very powerful Rolls-Royce engine, 4 of them, and so it had tremendous performance and huge range in the day. It had to be able to fly from the UK to Nairobi for some strange reason. You notice that big wing and flap? It's a bit of a handful and there's a bit of chop. And I tell you what, I'm going to tell you, that wasn't Dave Johnson flying it, that would have been a bag of this. Round of applause. Second from despite the flaps, the power flaps, which are done as per scale. They're trying to keep this aeroplane as accurate as possible, and they are electrically operated. I think they're on screw jacks, but I remember seeing the wing exposed at one of our static seminars a few years ago at Wigan, and them demonstrating the mechanism and this complex screw jacked push rod and slide mechanism to get the Fowler flaps deployed from the wing. So the engineering in these aeroplanes is not simple. We're not just talking about ailerons and elevators and a bit of wood stuck on here or there. Anyway, again, back to the flying. Now here's how to make an approach with a delightful large-scale aeroplane. This guy knows how to fly. Look at that, photographers. Dark sky, beautiful contrast, lovely colours. Flying it with the seat of his pants, rudder, aileron, the whole lot, throttle. Oh, that's a fantastic plot. Well, oh, it's touch and go. Right, okay, he's heard your applause, so you have to applaud more loudly when you ask for. Because that was the touch and go. I watched Steve over the years since he was a real young lad, and there are some people who you know, when they fly an aeroplane, they just don't fly on. Far too many pilots, and you'll notice this at your local club, are aileron elevator men. I had one instructor at the town war who used to say, oh, you don't need the rudder at all, just use that when you're on the ground for taxiing. And I took no notice of him. I mean, that's stupid. I mean, all these aeroplanes need rudder all the time, even the jets. And look at that. Look holding them. Oh, look at this. Come on, start applauding. Look at this. Look at that. Held them. Oh, look at this. On the kid there. He's sustaining the nose up. This is flight mastery of the very highest level. Now, you'll not see anything like that anywhere else at any other show but at LMA show. And we thank you for the techniques that Barnes Wallace used on that with geodetic construction. He then developed into the Wellington. And now we move on across to the United States in terms of production. And of course the pretty ubiquitous B-17. The aircraft in the bright aluminium and yellow livery is flown by I'll just talk a little bit about it's flown by Phil Roberts. It's an interesting prototype, the one he's used. The Hanford Engineering Works project in America was so inspired by the Americans being killed, and this was a D-Day, that they contributed from their wages $300,000 to pay for this particular aeroplane. They all gave a day's pay, and it was from those funds that that aeroplane was built. B-17 in the usual dark olive drab, which is darkish green colour, and it's in the front of the formation at the moment. Now, hopefully they'll get them all together, and when the smaller B-17 slate scale, or 17. They can get all teamed up together, then it'll make a nice formation fly pass through. We might get it this time. Difficult as always, judging height and distance and throttle settings. They're all different aeroplanes. And the Willing has got different characteristics to a B-17. It's only got 2 engines. So they're going to try and get them together. Now give them a round of applause. We're not anticipated, but let's see if we've got them together. Yeah. Well, that's a good first try. That's a good first try, but as Bishop used to say, it still does, I'm sure. They can get it closer. Come on, lads. One a bit tighter. Next time round. Come on, get your speeds and turning circuits right. We'll plan them tighter than that at LMA dues. Important thing here for the pilot is to retain line of sight at all times. You must fly a model, and you must never ever see a model aircraft on the plan of somebody else's model or of your own. So line of sight is important to avoid collision. Wonderful sound, a little bit of synchrony there of the engines on side.
Yes, this is it. This is what we like to see. What a lovely light aircraft lineup we've got with us today. Really unusual small aircraft. Home built Piper aircraft. This looks like a home built going through the yellow aircraft. Sitting there behind his glass door, looking very casual about it all. Piper of Sherman Aero Club, one of the local clubs to York. And this superb Piper rounding it out with the British Racing Green colour scheme. Absolutely beautiful aeroplane. And we're going to let these probably clear the runway, and then we've got a couple of real treats for you. One of them, I think, the first one, and just listen to the noise of banging and clattering of this thing. I think it's, and we've got the Yak 55. Now we've got the very sedate private aircraft, and we've got these two superb former Eastern Bloc aeroplanes. I can't remember the name of the first one too. It's got 2 massive aeroplanes, and you will be impressed by his, should we say, rather unusual takeoff characteristics. Give them a wave, encourage them. We want to see a spectacular takeoff here. Oh yes, this is what we like to hear. And the Yak 55. Friendly known as Beck.
Look at that.
So we've got the fire engine out there.
Who scored to make aeroplanes? Who scored to make aeroplanes? No, that'd be a Skoda, wouldn't it? If it's a
T. So we've got coming through at about 30-second intervals. Very much the home build now. We'll get the barriers out and we'll commence with the model flight. That's the 152, that's the noisy one because we don't know the first name. they've agreed to go into circuit after takeoff and then... Here we go. Formation takeoff. Listen and enjoy. Only bringing the best of the action today, but it's not finished yet. Oh, there it goes. Yes, straight from takeoff into a big wing over. There we are. This aircraft doesn't obey any real rules of aviation. It makes a stack of noise, it looks. And it's a post pass. We've got a yak both ways now. Here we go. This is going to be good. Come on. Get a big wave going. We need it. Yes. And drops its flaps and demonstrates the slow speed capability of it now. But we'll love it.
Thank you.